Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Springfield Township Board of Trustees meeting. It is September 10th, 2024 at 5:30 p.m. Mr. Burning, may we have the roll call?
Yes, Mr. Honolo?
Present?
Ms. Braun?
Present.
Mr. Burning's absent.
Okay. Next, we have the Pledge of Allegiance this evening, and I would like to call DJ and Ben from Boy Scout Troop 400 to come forward and lead us in the pledge, please.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Tonight we have a special swearing-in ceremony and for Rami Ko in our police department. And Director Bly, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Honorlaw. Yeah, we are excited tonight. The last couple 6 to 8 months, we've had a lot of promotions in here from the fire department, from a lot of retirements and some spots that came open. And tonight we're excited because we have a promotion in the police department. And like the fire department, I think the really neat thing about both agencies is that we have so many firefighters and police officers that are capable and experienced and trained that are eligible and qualified to do these positions. So the processes that we hold internally are very competitive. The officers that were involved in this, Sergeant Ko had to compete with 4 or 5 other officers where they had to test. A lot of studying goes in with the policies and procedures of the department, written exercises, practical exercises, and then interviews again with the command staff. So Rami should be very proud. His family should be very proud, and a special thanks to everybody else that participated in that process because they did a great job. And we always talk about when all of our officers get involved in those processes, it makes the whole department better because they learn so much from that process. Even though they're disappointed they didn't get that spot, they learn so much and make our department so much better, police and fire. So without further ado, I'd like to invite up Chief Chris Niehaus and newly promoted Sergeant Rami Ko for their swearing in.
Good evening. So it's with incredible excitement as the Chief of Police and as a member of the Springfield Township Police Department that we get to swear in Sergeant Rami Ko this evening. I think I'm equally as excited to have the opportunity to explain to the board and to the Springfield Township community the quality and caliber of police officer that we're promoting to this position. And I think it's certainly appropriate for the community to hear what kind of officer what kind of person this officer is. Before I explain a little bit about Sergeant Ko, I would like to recognize his wife in attendance this evening, Allison Ko, his 2 sons, R.J. Ko and Aaron Ko, his mother, Mary Ko, and his daughter, Brooke Favors, in attendance with him this evening. Thank you all for being here. So a little bit about Sergeant Ko. Sergeant Rami Ko's journey with our department is marked by a distinguished record of commitment, innovation, and leadership. Starting his career as a patrol officer, Sergeant Ko quickly demonstrated his aptitude for law enforcement and community engagement. Sergeant Ko's success continued in his role as a school resource officer for the Finneytown Local School District. In this capacity, Sergeant Ko forged invaluable relationships with school administrators, teachers, students, and the entire Springfield Township community. His ability to connect on a personal level was instrumental in creating a trusting and supportive environment within the school district he served. One of Sergeant Ko's most notable achievements as an SRO was the establishment of the Finneytown Athletic Association basketball team for at-risk use. By collaborating with teachers, he ensured these students and athletes received additional academic support, furthering their educational success. This initiative allowed the students to see him not just as a police officer, but as a mentor and an advocate. Sergeant Ko's leadership extended well beyond the school walls through his instrumental role in bringing the ALICE program to Springfield Township. Sergeant Ko's leadership with this program resulted in a widespread adoption across school districts, churches, businesses, summer camps in our region that saw the value and adopted this program to provide for the safety of their students and their staff. His work in this area has significantly enhanced our community's safety and preparedness. In addition to his achievements as an SRO, Sergeant Kao has served as a field training officer, imparting his knowledge and skills to the next generation of officers of Springfield Township Police Department. His role as a criminal investigator further showcased his ability to handle complex criminal investigations with diligence and expertise. Sergeant Kao's extensive experience across various roles and assignments within our department, combined with his deep-seated commitment to service to this community, has prepared him to excel in his new role as sergeant. His leadership is characterized by a dedication to excellence, a genuine concern for community well-being, and an absolutely unwavering commitment to the values of our police department. Lastly, we would also like to extend our heartfelt appreciation to Sergeant Kao's family for their steadfast support. Their understanding and encouragement has been absolutely instrumental in enabling him to achieve these remarkable career milestones. I, Rami Kao,
I, Rami Kao,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
to uphold the laws and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
to uphold the laws and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
the United States,
the United States,
and to perform all duties
and to perform all duties
and singly with the office of police officer
with the office of police officer
for the Springfield Township Police Department.
for the Springfield Township Police Department.
So help me God.
So help me God. Congratulations.
Rami, you going to give a speech? Congratulations. Thank you for all you've done. Okay, and thank you for everyone who has come. This is the biggest crowd we've had in here in quite some time.
Yes, standing room only.
You all can stay for this very exciting meeting if you want.
Yeah.
Or if you're free, we can take an intermission.
Rami,
Congratulations.
you can bring him in. Yeah. Thank you. Okay, at this point, we'll move on with our agenda. The next thing on the agenda this evening is approval of minutes from our regular session on August 13th, 2024, and our regular work session on August 27th, 2024. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Seconded.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Next, Mr. Burning, do we have the fiscal officer's financial report this evening?
Yes, Mr. Honolaw. For the month ending August 31st, 2024, the township expenditures were $2,305,522.60, and receipts were $8,831,489.76. This ending cash balance of $31,718,942.74 includes obligations for expenditures, payroll, regular operating costs, ongoing capital improvement projects, and investments. What I request of the board is the approval of the receipts, warrants, payroll expenditures, update, and current revenue reports for the period ending August 31st, 2024. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Seconded.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. And I just want everyone to know financial reports are available during regular business hours here at the administration building or on our website 24/7. Thank you, Mr. Honolaw.
Thank you. Thank you, Dan. Next, moving on to departmental action and discussion items. Mr. Gilbert, do we have the Township Administrator's report?
I do. Thank you, Mr. Hernerlaw. I have somewhat of a light agenda from my perspective. However, I know the department heads have some reports for the board. First, as an action item, I have the Hamilton County Engineers Agreement. That is going to be done via resolution further in the meeting. And originally, typically what we do when we have agreements with the county engineer's office is we do it via motion. But the resolution on the agenda authorizes an agreement, or I'm sorry, authorizes myself to execute a joint agreement with the county engineers regarding the installation of vinyl artwork on our electric utility boxes. Typically, like I said, we do that via motion. However, in this particular case, they're requesting a resolution, so that'll be done during the resolution portion of the agenda. Looking at the personnel update, we had in the administration the hire of Diana Wood as a part-time receptionist. In the fire department, we have the resignation of Caleb Vincent as a part-time EMT firefighter and the resignation of Trent Estes as a part-time medic firefighter. In the police department, we had the resignation of Police Officer Justin Paulinelli and Police Officer Logan Hammock. Unfortunately, we lost both of those to the Village of Indian Hill. I think they had several people, many people in their process. They hired two, and they took two of ours. So while we're sad to lose them, I think it's a credit to this organization and the department that the two people they did hire came from our department. So it just shows that we train and actually create good employees here. And unfortunately, the word is out and they know that. So did you want to say something, Bly?
Yeah, no, there was a lot of people. That's one of the agencies in Hamilton County that is, they don't hire very often. They attract a lot of senior officers from all over the county. And when you're competing against, 40 or 50 officers that are, throughout the county with experience, City of Cincinnati Sheriff's Department, like you said, as much as we were sad to see them go, the command staff and the trainer and the officers were really proud of, hey, what we produced. That 2 of our officers, actually their last 3 officers that they've hired full-time have been from Springfield Township. So credit to the staff.
Yeah, for sure. In their place, we did hire Nathaniel Borchers, correct? And so we are getting a lot of, I think, in addition to losing some of our quality officers to a very attractive entity like the Village of Indian Hill and them hiring, we're actually recruiting in their place laterals from other departments that see us as sort of their lily pad, like Indian Hill was for some of our officers. So hopefully it's not a lily pad. Hopefully they get here and stay here. But again, like we've told staff, we would rather train you and turn you into a phenomenal police officer and have you leave and go take that leadership skill to another entity than not give you that training and not give you that opportunity to be the best police officer you can while you're here. So I think that's what makes us attractive for laterals to come here as well from other agencies. In the Public Works Department, we did have the seasonal end, meaning we had seasonal laborers with us for the summer. Ben Peterson and Kyle Bill, both seasonal laborers, ended their employment here. And then we had the resignation of full-time laborer Bradley Brooks. In the Arts Center, we had the new hire of Jennifer Tausch as a guest services representative back at the Arts Connect building. Now I'll turn it over to Kim with community events and programs.
Thank you. The month of October is when Springfield Township has its largest events. On October the 5th, the fire department is going to have their 5th annual open house from noon to 3, and that is always a very successful program with lots of demonstrations and fire safety techniques for kids and family. On October the 26th, we'll have our Halloween Hootenanny event. That also is from noon to 3. We'll have trunk or treating, different crafts, games, and activities for kids, a hay maze, and hay rides.
Thanks, Kim.
Thanks.
Appreciate it. Chief Niehaus, I don't know if would you mind coming up and kind of giving us an idea of kind of what's going on in the department and give us an update of things that you and your team have been working on?
Sure, thank you very much. So I think one of our biggest accomplishments that we're extremely close to completing is our body-worn camera program. I think the board and the community is aware that in the end of 2022, our department competed in a very competitive grant process to fund our body-worn camera program. As I'm sure the board's aware, and it's an extremely expensive program, not only to begin, but to maintain. I think we are extremely excited to learn that our funding sustained over 50 body cameras for our agency, so one for every one of our sworn officers, as well as maintaining the storage for a minimum of a 5-year period. So once the funding was in place, we were able to acquire the cameras, get a policy and procedure into place, get some civilian employees in place to help us manage and maintain that program in compliance with the local or with the state laws, and as well as with the Hamilton County Prosecutor's Office in compliance with public records requests. In March of this year, we began a pilot program where we assigned a limited number of body cameras out onto the road. And that was really designed just to make sure that our policies, our procedures, and our infrastructure and those changes were in place, ready to absorb the volume of videos from putting all the cameras out there on the road. And it also gave us time for our officers to get comfortable with the use and how they operate. I'm extremely happy to report that we moved out of that phase 1 of that pilot program. We're in phase 2 right now, where we've issued over 20 additional body cameras out onto the road, and hopefully by September 17th of this year, in just a few weeks, we will have full deployment of body cameras in the police department and out on the road, and officers comfortable in understanding their use and purpose. Awesome. So we're extremely proud and excited for that.
I appreciate that, Chief. I know that's been a several year project, from funding to implementation, policy creation. And I know we had to create an additional position within the department just to handle the review of public records requests and going through the body cam footage.
Yeah, and I think we'd be remiss not to thank Ms. Abrams for all the work that she did of creating those policies and making sure we were doing it correct. Sometimes we want to implement things a little faster, and she says, well, slow down a little bit. So make sure we did it the right way. So thank you, Ms. Abrams.
And I would like to just add lastly that, that the body camera program has only been in place for a few months, but we've already seen that return on investment for the organization, specifically in the realm of prosecutions and the success of our prosecutions because of that factual evidence is readily available.
Awesome.
Yep.
Fantastic. As we talk about cameras, how's the flock camera system working out?
So the flock camera system is extremely beneficial for our agency and our officers. Not only do they use it on a daily basis to identify wanted individuals, stolen vehicles, missing persons, and those things, but we use them to further our criminal investigations that we probably necessarily wouldn't have had the ability to do once they were outside the jurisdiction of Springfield Township. It now expands our opportunity in that network for us to continue those investigations outside of our borders that begin and initiate inside Springfield Township.
Fantastic. Thanks, Chief.
Thank you.
Appreciate all your help.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Chief Miller. I know Kim stole your thunder a little bit with your open house.
Yeah, I know, thanks. No, I just want to take a moment just to talk about Fire Prevention Month, which is in October. Obviously, we have our fire department open house on October 5th from noon to 3. However, that does kick off Fire Prevention Week. So the theme this week is smoke alarms, make them work for you. So basically educating the importance of smoke alarms and ensuring everyone has one in their home. The fire department is going to have that event up here at our main fire headquarters like we do every year. We'll have live fire demonstrations, some kids activities. You can meet Sparky the fire dog. We'll have some free hot dogs, the best hot dogs in Springfield Township that day. So like I said, it is free to the public and everyone is welcome. So we also are going to start scheduling our fire safety program for month of October as far as getting into the schools, churches, community groups, things like that as well. So people can just reach out to and call the fire department and we can get those scheduled for you. Last year we actually educated about 2,000 to 3,000 kids. Mainly obviously in the schools and things like that, but we hope to continue that great program.
Awesome. And I know obviously through the latter part of this month as well as the entire month of October, including the open house, we'll be educating residents on the issue 24, the fire levy that's on the ballot for November, educating them on the reason that it was placed on the ballot, the need.
That's correct.
Obviously, we're not advocating one way or the other as it relates to the issue, but we are going to educate them on why we actually put it on the ballot and why it's necessary. And Chief Miller will be available to answer any questions of anyone in the public as it relates to why the need is there and what the funds will actually be used for. So, thanks, Chief. Appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
So, Scott, you're not off the hook. Can you kind of give us an update of where we are with the current repaving project that's going on in the township?
Sure. In Brentwood, where we're at now, we're probably about 75% complete. Curb is done. We're very close to being done there. Then we should come in with surface course probably towards the end of the month, the 1st of October. Next week, that same crew will mobilize up to Pleasant Run Farm and begin curb work in there. There's a lot less cul-de-sacs up there. There's a lot more straight line pouring, which makes things go a lot faster. So hopefully, we're on track to being finished November 1st. Now, when I say that, we'll get a week of rain and that'll go away. But right now, we're on track to being pretty much complete by November 1st. So over here, it's been a struggle because it's been very congested, but very few resident complaints, so that's been a good thing.
Yeah, perfect. Thanks, Scott. I do want to let the board know that Scott and I, along with our engineering consultant, worked on some applications through SORTA Metro for the transportation funding that they have in place, and we've been successful in years past about getting grants for those projects. We applied for 3 different projects. I think there was a total of 39 applications throughout the county. I think they funded 9 of those, and our 3 projects were not one of the 9. In fact, I think 4 of the 9 projects that were actually funded were in the city of Cincinnati. So while it's disheartening that we weren't funded in this cycle, we have a plan B, and we're sort of punting and going back to figure out what we're going to do next year as it relates to resurfacing, and to see if we can possibly get one of these projects funded through the OPWC cycle, which is another grant program, but a separate grant program. So we'll, as we get towards the temporary appropriations budget in December, throughout the month of November, we will meet with the board to finalize what the infrastructure spending will be for 25 and 26. So with that, that concludes my report, unless there are any questions of the board.
I do not have any.
I did not have any either.
No.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Chris. Next then, moving on to our resolutions this evening. The first resolution that we have is resolution number 82, 2024, which are supplemental appropriations in the general fund, the fire district fund, residential recycling incentive program fund, and the public improvement tax increment equivalent fund. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Seconded.
Ms. Braun?
Aye.
Mr. Honalaw?
Aye.
Resolution carries.
Next is resolution number 83, 2024, declaring nuisances at various properties within Springfield Township and authorizing statutory actions necessary to abate the nuisances. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Seconded.
Ms. Braun?
Aye.
Mr. Honalaw?
Aye.
Resolution carries.
Next is resolution number 84, 2024, establishing assessment for abatement of nuisance and certifying the same to the Hamilton County Auditor. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Seconded.
Ms. Braun?
Aye.
Mr. Honalaw?
Aye.
Resolution carries.
Next is resolution number 85, 2024, and Chris, this is the one that you referred to before.
Correct.
And just for the general public, this is a joint agreement with the Hamilton County engineer, where we're going to have some decorative artistic wraps put on some of the many kind of just ugly traffic boxes you see up and down Winton Road. Probably be the best way to describe it.
Correct.
So it's resolution number 85, 2024, which is a resolution authorizing the township administrator to execute a joint agreement with the Hamilton County engineer regarding the installation of vinyl artwork on traffic signal control cabinets at various locations in Springfield Township. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Seconded.
Ms. Braun?
Aye.
Mr. Honalaw?
Aye.
Resolution
I
carries.
think it's important to note that the township is not expending tax dollars to wrap those boxes. Those are going to be done through either funding that was made available to Arts Connect and/or through private donations to Arts Connect for that project. We're not using Springfield Township tax dollars for that project.
Okay. Kim, I see your handiwork in there somewhere. Yeah. Okay. Next, we have resolution number 86, 2024, a resolution to initiate text amendments related to adult use cannabis dispensaries located in Springfield Township zoning resolution. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Seconded.
Ms. Braun?
Aye.
Mr. Honalaw?
Aye.
Resolution carries.
Next, we have resolution number 87, 2024, resolution modifying resolution number 44, 2024, and confirming the previously declared dangerous property condition located at 6308 Witherby Avenue and directing the removal of buildings or other structures located on that property. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Seconded.
Ms. Braun?
Aye.
Mr. Honalaw?
Aye.
Resolution carries.
Next is resolution number 88, 2024, authorizing the filing of an application pursuant to Revised Code 2981.12 and Revised Code 3719.11 to authorize the destruction of property in the possession of the Springfield Township Police Department that has been unclaimed, lost, abandoned, stolen, forfeited, or otherwise lawfully seized. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Seconded?
Ms. Braun?
Aye.
Mr. Honlaw?
Aye.
Resolution carries.
Do we have any old business before the board this evening?
I do not, thank you.
Do we have any new business? Anything?
No, I have nothing, thank you.
The only thing I would say under new business is we continue to see a investment in Springfield Township. I know that what was the old AT&T building at the corner of Hebstead and Witten Road is, I saw him putting up a sign today. It's going to be an urgent care with Mercy Health System. I saw there's also work going on Brentwood Shopping Center. There's a new store going in there, Five Below, and they're working on the facade of the building, but as well as many other projects throughout the township. Next, we come to the part of the meeting for citizens' participation. Is there anyone here this evening that would like to address the board? If there is, we would ask that you step up to the podium, state your name and address for the record, and ask everybody else to listen intently to what they have to say.
Hello, everybody. Joe Rivers, 2068 Blue Hill Drive. I'm currently president of our organization. We call ourselves SHAG, Seven Hills Action Group. So I try not to come down here and unless I really got something serious. So I got a few things that I think is pretty serious, and it's got to do with the police department. Okay, first of all, I want to get a shout out to Chad McGuffey. He's one of your officers. I got a sister kid's sister that has dementia, and ran away and walked off, and we called the police, and he came, and he was very professional. He kept everything calm. We found her. We finally located her, and he went and picked her up, run back to the house, and I was going to give a shout out to him. I left him a message, told him how we appreciate his professionalism. Okay, and I also want to talk about, we've been having a lot of vandalism going on in Seven Hills. We had a park put in. We had a pavilion, and it looks nice, really nice and gorgeous. New picnic tables, grills. No sooner we got all that in, somebody came up there and trashed it. Broke the grills, threw rocks and dirt all everywhere. We kind of need more police, involvement in things. Then you go up there by, I'm gonna say Sunoco, and you got the Mike Fish and Chips, and you got the old Rileys. They're hanging out in gangs. They trashing the place. They got trash everywhere. They got milk carts they sit on. They go over to Sunoco and do the same thing. So I went in there and talked to the proprietor in there and said, you guys stop this. He said, we called the police, but they won't do nothing. We tries to get them to leave from here. We called the police. I told him, I said, well, call the police if you can't get them, because this ain't right. You're openly selling drugs. They drinking beer and whatever right there on the lot. They go over to Mike's Fish and Chips and do the same thing. They trash the place, trash everywhere. I always wanted a good relationship with the police, with Springfield Township, and I put in a few calls for one of them to call me back. I never gets that call. But I always have worked with Springfield Township Police. I used to work with a couple of officers back in the day, Scotty Mendorf, you guys know him, and Schaefer. I've worked with them and did things for them, and we kind of got a lot of things going because I had a relationship. I had a good relationship with Chief Browder. I can call him and depend on him for things, issues we have. But I'm not trying to trash you guys, but these officers here that you got now don't even never call me back. Matter of fact, I put in a call for an officer today, and they never calls me back, never talks about the issues that we having in there. I got a lot of pull out there in Seven Hills. really help the police, get things done out there, And I just need a relationship with Springfield Township, and so far I cannot get that. And these guys, they're trying to form their gangs. They intimidating the residents out there. They I'd say about 30 days ago, we had a shooting out there, and the guy across the street, the neighbor, he had it on his security. So I went in and looked at it. Guy actually hanging out the car, shooting his gun, down Seven Hills Drive. That's the kind of stuff got to be stopped. So I called the landlord and complained to him about it. He said he ain't gonna allow that. He's gonna evict them or whatever. They're still there. I talked to the residents today. I said, you still having problems with this house across the street? He said, they go in the back and still shoot off rounds every now and then, And they're scared to death over there. All the residents on this street is really just scared and they're intimidated. I was up to Sunoco today. They was out there openly selling drugs, openly, drinking beer. I went in there, I said, you guys gonna put up with this? Well, we call. They won't come out. But see, that ain't what I heard. I heard they do come out and runs them away. But the people in the store said they don't run them away, So I'm just here. I want to have a relationship with Springfield Township Police. I want to be able to call you guys and make a complaint because the residents come to me. They look to me to try to get things done. And I try to get things done, but if I can't get no relationship with our police department, it's just a waste of time, And I got a few more issues. That's all I have with the police. We got guys running up and down the street with quad runners and mopeds and mini bikes. I almost hit one the other day, I didn't see him on a little mini bike shooting past me. They running stop signs, but the word is you can do what you want to do in Seven Hills because the police ain't gonna do nothing. That's the word I gather, that's what people tells me. And so far it seems like they're right. The house over on Birch Ridge, they went in there, and me and the neighbor went in there and looked at the house because it was wide open. They tore the doors off the hinges. They kicked in all the walls, did a tremendous amount of damage to the people's property. It was a vacant house is what it was, but, they kicked big holes and tore all the closet doors off, all the exit doors. So I called the people who own the home, which is Vinebrook. They came out, boarded it up. Just the next day, they came back, tore the boards off, went back in there and tore up some more stuff. And I don't know what's the resolution to stopping this violence, but I hear it's a beef going on with this Mount Healthy gang against some gang in Seven Hills. And it's just, we don't want to live like that. I don't want to live like that, We got a bad trash problem. There's trash everywhere. People won't pick up the trash. They just throw cans and bottles down. I know that's a issue that's probably going in a lot of communities, But I fault the proprietors up there, the merchants up there. They can do something about it. Now, Mike Fish and Chips over there right next, they was actually feeding animals with their straps. This is a restaurant now. How you gonna go out there and order food from a restaurant and they're out there feeding pigeons and birds? They set food out there for them to eat off of, And it's just like it's a ghetto neighborhood. It's no kind of you don't feel safe or anything in there, And everybody calls me, they don't have nobody to look to. So I tell them, I said, well, call the township, and complain to them too, I said, I'm trying to do the best I can, And I got to give Scott his promise. He does a good job. He does a damn good job. And we were so proud of the park that he done, everybody just loved it. 3-4 days later, they went in and ripped the grills off the stands, threw rocks everywhere, threw mud on it. And I was just furious. I was really upset. A couple of people was upset. They were saying they were so worried that Springfield Township was going to take everything away because of that. One girl said, well, I guess they're going to take the grills from us now, because this is what's happening. You try to get something, people tear it up and, don't appreciate it. And I said, well, we appreciate it. I said, we work hard to get this. We work hard to get the flower pots we got up there. We work hard to get the sign that we got up on Roosevelt. We work hard to get the pavilion. Been waiting on it all year. Finally, it gets in there and it's beautiful, you know. Just, you know, I don't know. I don't have an answer. You know, I really don't. You know, it's just like, what can we do, you know, to make Seven Hills a better neighborhood? And I know it can be a better neighborhood. I've been out there 45 years. When I first moved out, it was a good neighborhood. It's not anymore, you know. I don't know what.
You know, Joe, you asked the right question just now. Mm-hmm. You said, what can we do?
Yeah, what can we do?
And that's how the township staff feels sometimes too.
Mm-hmm.
And so, first of all, as it relates to, I'm just going to answer your questions.
Okay, sure.
It relates to the issue at the gas station. We do go there. But there's a legal process we have to follow. And if the person who owns the property isn't willing to sign charges and/or make the people leave his property, we legally can't do that. So we do go there. But the gentleman who owns the place doesn't want us to come inside and talk to him either. So we go there, but if we can't talk to him and he doesn't want to sign charges against the people, then we're left powerless. So regardless of what he's telling you, we are left powerless because of his inaction, first of all. As it relates to the trash and debris, I agree with you. What's disheartening for us, I'm not putting this at your feet because this happens in every neighborhood, it seems like anymore.
Right.
Our staff, on their off time, puts together cleanup days. We go out there. You know how many people came and helped us from the SHAG group? 0. Not one. Not one person from the neighborhood helped last year. Not one person. So for us, we get to a point too where we're thinking, what can we do? Not your fault that they ripped the grills down, but we go through the process and spend the time and the resources to do that, and then it happens. So while you're feeling disheartened, and you live there, so you absolutely have to feel that way, and I can appreciate that. Staff does too, right?
Yeah.
And so when we're out there trying to answer those calls and we're trying to address those concerns and we're not getting any assistance either from the property owner of or the place where there's loitering and other things going on that are much more nefarious, or whether we're making investments in the parks and then residents of the community, kids admittedly, destroy it, or we go out of the way and create cleanup days and no one from the neighborhood comes out to help. What are we supposed to do?
Well, that one must have got past me because I sure would have been out there.
Well, you showed up and you said, hey guys, good to see you, and you left.
Yeah.
So I'm not trying to throw you under the bus, Joe, that's just the truth. So I'll take criticism, concerns all day, but at the end of the day, we're trying to do the best we can with the resources we have within the law. And if we're not getting cooperation, we're sort of left powerless. I'm still going to work with you and May and SHAG to address these issues, but there's got to be meeting us halfway sometimes, and we got to be honest about the situation, or we're not going to get any resolution at all.
Right. Well, like I say, we're trying. You know, I'm trying. You know.
I know you are, and your group's fantastic. What you've done to advocate for that neighborhood is nothing short of spectacular.
Yeah,
I appreciate you.
I can't get nobody to hardly come to the meetings. Everybody wants to call me and complain.
That's the issue, right?
Joe, if we had some more like you, and a few less like some of these others, we wouldn't have the problems we have up there.
Right.
And we do appreciate you caring about the community and what you can do. But some of this stuff is almost, you know, in our country, it is societal, and, you know, it's like the trash. You know, it's like that would be so easy if we put cans up there.
There are, yeah.
Yeah, and what do? They put all their, you know, like instead of putting it out to Rumpke, they put it in these cans. But if everybody just would quit, you know, littering, that could be solved.
And
so
again,
easy.
it's not isolated Seven Hills. I deal with this everywhere.
No, it's not. No, it sure is.
Them guys hanging around these merchants places like that, it's like a powder keg. Something's going to happen.
But it's also private property. And if the owner of that property isn't willing to allow us to do our job, We can't do anything about it.
And see, that ain't what he's telling me. He's telling me he's doing that, but
I understand what he's telling
yeah,
you.
that's what
That
he's
isn't the
telling me.
truth.
Yeah, oh, I believe it, because, I asked Jimmy across the street, that guy's the shell, he said, we don't tolerate that. You don't see nobody over his place.
That's because he probably allows us to do our job.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey,
So,
I would just like to add, Joe, I apologize. I'm not going to make any excuses if you're not getting phone calls back. I think you had a great relationship with the police department in the years that you've been up there. Most of our officers, we got a lot of young new officers, but most of our officers are aware of who you are and the good stuff you do up there. So my only probably comment would be is we probably take for granted when you call, like, hey, we know what he needs. We're well aware of the issues that you brought up. We're working on them different ways. We have some ways where we're not visible, some ways where we are visible, and like Mr. Gilbert said, there are some things that we know that, hey, they're not going to cooperate maybe with the trespassing and the loitering, but there are some ways that we can do some patrol tactics where we can see some of the illegal activity go down, but that takes some time. Sometimes when we have the staffing levels that we need, we can put up there, get some eyes on the place that aren't so visible, and see what's going on. So I assure you we're working on it. I promise you that we will make sure that we get a liaison at the police department to be able to work with you on a more consistent basis too. So
now you Chief Niehaus?
So I'm Bly. I was there for the last 3 years. So I know I've worked with you before when I was in my vice days and everything else. But Chief Chris Niehaus is the chief now. So I don't want to make excuses, but we've had a lot of structure changes in the last year. So Chris Niehaus is over there. So
now I did talk to Sergeant Heinpold.
Yeah. Okay, I just checked with him yesterday to make sure, and he said, yeah, I thought I talked with him last week, so I wanted to make sure.
That was the shooting incident over there. We were trying to, get some clarification on the shooting because the whole street was petrified. This guy, I saw the video. He's hanging out the window shooting. Kids, people, innocent people, you just can't be shooting up and down. So I called his landlord, and landlord said he wasn't going to tolerate that, so he's supposed to be evicting him or something. I don't,
It takes a while.
It does take some time.
3 to 6 months.
So he said they wasn't paying their rent, and plus, he said with that, he just ain't going to tolerate that. And I said, well, great.
Then we'll continue our drug investigations. I know you've been through our CPA years ago, many times ago, and sometimes that takes a little bit of time, but I assure you we're up there doing some of the patrols, and we'll make sure we stay in contact with you. So
like
I apologize for that. I don't want you to feel that way.
With Scotty and Schaefer years ago, back then they try to keep the neighborhood a little cleaner,
And I can tell you, Mr. Chardine has a plan for those grills. He's going to put posts in the ground that
we talked.
He assures me you're going to have to pull it out with a truck to get them down.
Don't come in. Jeez.
Right? I know.
Yeah, one of the guys told me, he said one of them was actually sitting in the grill.
What?
Yeah. And he went and told him and said, hey, man, don't sit in the grill like that. And he jumps up and said, oh, my bad. And I think that's the one that got mad and started rocking it till he broke it off, But we were just so proud of it. And it just hurt everybody's feeling when you go there 2 days later and it's trashed,
We'll fix it.
And we waited all year long for this, But, a couple more things on the house joint that sits on the corner.
For sale, isn't it?
Yeah, it's for sale. Can anybody do anything about the potholes in the driveway and the grass not being cut?
Well, the grass, yes, but the pot.
But not the driveway. That's on the owner, right?
It is, and some private property. I mean, we may be able to do something under property maintenance, but we obviously can't make those repairs on private property.
Okay, then. All right, like I said, that was my main reason to come here. I want to try to get a better relationship with the police. I like working with the police, really. So, if I call, I'm just ain't gonna be wasting his time, and I'm just gonna keep calling and calling. When I call you, it's important. So I make it important if I call.
Yeah, and we apologize for that. Feeling that we're never getting back to you. So we'll make sure we do that.
Okay, thank you. That's
Thanks,
all I
Joe.
have.
Good to see you, man.
Okay.
Appreciate your efforts. Is there anyone else who would like to address the board this evening? Yes, ma'am.
Gail Howard. I just wanted to say to Scott and all of your fellows that have working for you that the flowers are beautiful all over the township. Very nice.
Thanks, Gail.
Thank you. Anyone else who would like to address the board this evening? It appearing that there is not, do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye. Motion The meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everyone, for coming this evening.